So Corey does a thing after he wins, and he says he's like, "I'm the best." And I think Coker even said in the presser that Corey Anderson, whoever wins this tournament, whether it's Nemkov or if it's Corey Anderson, that's going to be the best 205 pounder in the world.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard for me to argue that. And I'm not doing that because I'm a homer. I know people are like, "Oh, you're a homer. You're this in Bellator." No, absolutely not. I'm not being a homer. Look, I'll tell you guys. I'll be honest with you guys. When somebody is a good fighter, I'm going to give them credit. Nemkov and Corey are going to have a fight. We're going to find out who the best 205 pounder is in the world. Because if you guys want to compare this, like, look, what Corey said was true. And I'm not saying what Jan said wasn't true either.
It was true too.
Two things can be true.
Semi-true.
He says, Jan says, hold up. So a guy who bolted from the UFC after I slept him and almost made him retire, got a couple of wins in the second league and claims he is the best. Maybe I've punched him too hard. No class in win or defeat Corey. There's levels to this. Corey comes back and laid down some truth as well. Let's not forget what happened to you the first time I left you looking like the Elephant Man, which is also true. And you posted, I need to go home and rethink my career. That is true as well. Yeah, I got knocked out in the second fight. Lucky punch. That is not true.
I don't agree with that.
It's not a lucky punch.
Okay.
It's not a lucky punch. Look, you caught him. Jan's got power. We all know Jan's got power, and it can happen. That's part of the game. But I made you my broad for 15 minutes straight. Sorry, my light's in the way.
Nothing lucky about that.
And that's true. So you have to look at it from both sides. The lucky punch is not true. It happens. The technique was there. It landed clean, slept him. Cool. Okay. But I'm going to tell you from a fighter's perspective, and maybe John will agree with me. Maybe John won't. It is a lot harder to beat somebody up for 15 minutes, knowing the fight starts every round on the feet and knowing you got to be able to take this guy down every single time the fight starts on the feet. It's a lot harder to hold somebody down. It's a lot harder to make sure that you're able to deliver damage the way he did and made Jan look like the Elephant Man the way he did. Okay, for 15 minutes. That is hard work. If Jan didn't have the answer, let's just say that second fight would have went past the first round and Corey got a takedown. How would that fight have been different? It wasn't different. I think it ended in 3:38 of the first round is what it ended. Jan knocked him out in the first round. That's the fight game, you guys. But to sit here and say that Corey's a second tier fighter in the 205-pound division, it's just ridiculous. Look, he left. He was ranked number 4 in the world when he left the UFC. He asked for his release because he knew the UFC was not going to let him or not promote him anymore. I've been in that same situation. When Dana doesn't like you, he doesn't help you. Don't expect to be promoted. Don't expect to get into that next level because it's not going to happen. They're going to continue. Look what they did to John Fitch. What? 11 or 12 wins in a row, and they finally gave him a title shot. It was like, I get it. Maybe he wasn't the most exciting, but when you can't deny somebody that long, look at what they're doing to Leon Edwards right now. The same shit. And so like when they don't like a fighter, that's what's going to happen. They don't like the way that they fight. They don't like the style of which they fight, but all they do is collect W's. Then it's hard to keep denying them. Corey realized that it was never going to happen. They had actual real legitimate conversations with Corey Anderson saying, you need to change your style. Yep. If you don't change your style, you're not going to get a title shot. If that's what's going to happen, you hear that from the promotion and you're winning, you're beating people and you're beating them handily by just taking them down and grounding them out and doing those things. Keep doing what you're doing. He didn't do that, and it cost him that fight against Jan. And people are like, oh, well, Jan got better. Yes, Jan did get better. But I want to go back. Can you pull up Jan's record
so
for
has
me,
Corey Anderson.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. I believe Corey's gotten better as well because confidence is key for everyone. Okay, yeah. You get a couple wins, you start building up. But if you pull up Jan's record, when did he fight? Everyone's like, oh, well, he knocked out what's his name? Dominic Reyes.
He knocked out
Dominic Reyes. He knocked out Ronaldo Souza. Who else? So he beat Izzy. Izzy is coming up from 185. All he did was take Izzy down and do the top game. Okay, so he did that. Dominic Reyes coming off of the loss to John Jones. Let me explain to you guys. Okay, and look, and this is not being biased. It's from a fighter's point of view. My own personal experience, not just with myself, but dealing with other fighters. When you get all the way to the title shot and then you lose, you go back and you start second guessing everything. What do I need to do to reinvent myself? What do I need to do to change myself to get back to that title shot? You don't really need to do a whole lot, but people start feeding on that believing that they do need to do things. Dominic Reyes was not the same fighter after he lost to John Jones. No matter what people think and no matter what people say about him winning that fight or should have won that fight, I had Dominic winning that fight against John Jones. John, I don't know if you did or not.
Yes, I did.
A lot of other
First
people.
3 rounds.
A lot of other people had Dominic Reyes winning that fight too. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter what people had him winning or not. He lost the fight. And when he fought Jan, his mentality was not the same. He was not the same. Didn't have the same confidence when he got there.
He hasn't been the same fighter since.
He hasn't been the same fighter since. And that's what happens after you lose that title shot. You work so hard to get there. And when it doesn't come to fruition, you're not the same fighter. You need to reinvent yourself. Now, some fighters are able to come back and do it all over again. And that's very rare. That's very rare. Now, maybe Dominic Reyes will, but I'm not saying he will. Ronaldo Souza.
Jacare?
Jacare. I was thinking, no. But that was at 205. That was at 205?
Yeah, he fought him at 205.
He fought him at 205. Okay. I was thinking of Thiago. That's why. I was like, I don't know why I had that the hammer on my anyways. But like those type of guys, like after they have lost at a title shot, they have to reinvent themselves and they're not the same fighter. And so to say that, oh well, he beat him and Jan's a better fighter, he's gotten better since then. Jan's also getting a little bit older now too. And sure, he's the champion. Okay, but I continue to say that if this fight goes past the first round and Corey gets a takedown, Corey can win this fight easily. I'm not saying easily. I shouldn't say that.
No.
But I think the takedowns will come easier as the fight goes on. But if Jan can land that clean shot or Long could utilize his boxing and keep this fight on the feet, then he wins. But to say they're both 1-1, to say that one can smash the other, it's just not true. And that's the thing. I'm not batting for. I don't give a shit. It doesn't do me any good. This fight's never gonna fucking happen. So I'm not gonna. I'm just sitting here pleading my case, saying both fighters are really damn good. And if Corey can get the takedown, Corey wins. And if Jan can keep it on the feet and land those shots, Jan wins. But I also believe in a 5-round fight, the longer this fight goes, it favors Corey Anderson.
No doubt.
The one thing Corey Anderson has is a ton of fucking cardio. That guy's gas tank is unreal.
Enormous.
Unreal. So that was me in a nutshell, what I believe. And if you guys don't believe me, then that's fine. I understand where you guys are all coming from. You guys see those 3 little letters and you automatically believe in your mind that that's the best fighter. And I'm not that person, because guess what? I've seen that show, that promotion, those 3 little letters cut fighters. And then years later, those fighters came back and became champions there for multiple times. And one of them is Robbie Lawler. I remember hearing Robbie Lawler's always washed up. He's shit. He's this. Guess what? Came back, dominated, won the title, had some of the most epic fucking fights ever in UFC history. That lets you know that the UFC is not always right. They don't always have the best guys.
They have a
I can
champion
go on
right
about
now.
DC and
They
everyone.
cut. They have a champion right now that they cut. They cut Brandon Moreno. Moreno. They cut
true.
him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's a fun guy to watch. So look, here's the reality of this. They're both good fighters. Corey Anderson he's a stud, and Jan Blachowicz, he's a stud. They both have their elements where they're strong. They both have elements where you can say, this guy's got an advantage over you. But the truth of the matter is, yes, Jan knocked him out. Was it a lucky punch? Negative. That's not lucky. That's skill. It's timing. It's distance control. And it's accuracy. And he had all of those things. And that's why that punch landed where it did. And Corey did not do the right things to make sure that it did not land that way. And that's why he got the win. And he deserved it. Same as there's nothing lucky about what Corey did to Blachowicz in his first fight. He dominated him. He crushed him. He brought him down anytime he wanted, and he just ground and pound him into a 3-round decision. Now, that's not a knockout, but as he says, you know what? You go 15 minutes with somebody, and you control them, and you do with them as you wish throughout those 15 minutes. That's a dominating performance. That means that, you know what? There's no luck involved in that. That's skill. Both of them have skill. Both of them are great fighters, and both of them on any given night could beat the other guy. That's the way I look at it. And that's awesome. That's the way it's supposed to be. There are better, there's all kinds of things, and it's a better world in MMA when you have fighters from other organizations that are just as good as the organization that most people think is the best one in the UFC with the best talent and everything. Yeah. Great. But I can guarantee you, Dana would never take the chance of putting Corey Anderson against Jan Blachowicz again. He won't do it because he knows. Yeah. So, and that's not that Jan couldn't win that fight. I'm not saying that. Jan could. Scott Coker would take the chance because he doesn't have as much to lose. Dana's got more to lose with it because he is the big promotion. And I look at it, and Coker's right. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not sure Corey can beat Nemkov. Nemkov is good. I've watched him since he was an amateur. He is, and this is where you talk about progression. I've watched what he's done when he lost and how he learned about what he did in those losses to, a mistake. Most of it was his ability to control his cardio. And he still had that problem coming into Bellator. And he's fixed it. He's good. And people who say what they want, oh, he fought a guy he wasn't even supposed to fight. You're right. He was supposed to fight Rumble Johnson. Rumble wasn't able to make that fight based upon health issues. And they put in Blachowicz. Look, I'm just telling you right now, Blachowicz is a good fighter. I've said that from the beginning. I've said, he's got really good skills. He's a good wrestler. He's got very sharp boxing. He just wasn't prepared to fight a guy of the level of Nemkov with what he's done so far because he's never taken that step. Now he has. Now he knows. And, things will change for him. But the whole Corey Anderson, Jan Blachowicz thing, it's great. I love it. I think it's awesome. I love what Jan said. I love what Corey said back. And let it go. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if it ever happens because I'd love to see it happen.
100% agree.